When performing a barbell back squat, you want to keep a couple things in mind. One, you want your feet to be flat on the floor at all times. You never want to roll under your toes or roll back on your heels. You want your feet firmly planted on the ground at all times. Other than that, your hips and your shoulders should always come up and go down at the exact same time. As you can see here, shoulders and hips going down together and then coming up at the same time. Because some people, especially when they come up, they have a tendency for their butt to come up first, and then they do that. You want your shoulders and hips always come up at the same time. And notice how my feet stay nice and flat on the floor. The other thing when it comes to squatting, you may want to play with your position a little bit. For instance, I have really long legs and a shorter torso. So personally, as you'll see in a moment, when I squat down, my knees will come forward a little bit more, but my feet stay nice and flat. Now some people with shorter legs, if you watch them squat from the side, their knees may not go forward much at all. But as long as your feet are staying nice and flat on the ground and you're driving through, the whole of your foot, it kind of doesn't matter so much. Just play around a little, see what's comfortable for you. And personally, I'm partial to a slightly wider than shoulder width foot position, my toes pointed out slightly. Some people may want to be a little more narrow, some people may want to be a little wider. Don't be afraid to kind of play with and see what feels best to you. Just make sure your feet are firmly on the ground, your hips and shoulders rise at the same time. Other than that, the other important thing is, depending on if you're a beginner or advanced, you may not be able to squat very deep initially, and that's fine. Do the range of motion that you can comfortably and safely do. At first that may mean you can only squat, to about there before your feet want to come up. That's fine. Just go down as deep as you can, maintaining perfect form, and then over time, you may be able to gradually go lower and lower while maintaining perfect form. Don't force anything. Work within the range of motion you can right now, and then over time, progress being able to go lower and lower while still maintaining that perfect form. Now when you use a barbell, you want to make sure that the bar is going to go along your traps right here. You don't want it on your neck at all. You want it on your traps, and that's where you're going to have the bar. Now please do your squats in a power rack. I'm just going to take the bar out of the rack right here for demonstration so you can see everything. So have safety bars, do your squats in a rack for safety purposes. And you want the bar sitting on your traps. You can see right there, it's on the nice upper meaty part of my back. You don't want it on your neck. And then again, you're going to have your foot position wherever is comfortable to you. And you want to lower down as far as you can go while maintaining perfect form, and then come back up. Notice the position of the bar, how it's centered over my feet as I squat down. And then as I come up, notice how my hips and shoulders come up at the same time. Lower under control, drop through foot. And like I said, initially you may only be able to squat down to about here or so. That's perfectly fine. Work within your range of motion. Over time, try to gradually increase it. As long as you can always keep your feet flat on the ground, and as long as you can maintain that perfect form, you can work down as low as you want. Just be safe. Stay in the rack. Don't be afraid to play with your foot position a little bit. If you want to know where I suggest starting, I would suggest starting with slightly wider than shoulder width, toes pointed out slightly, and then adjust from there.